because I can't keep people on going for ages. So, but no, I honestly do think I'll be fine anyway, Sparkles, when it comes to it. Like, even if I have to go through certain bits again, I can literally just skip like through it quickly. Or we get to enjoy it. I mean, whatever, you know. It's all good. Tetsuo Tsushimishi, Chief Inspector of the Metropolitan Police Department, First Investigative Division, is investigating the mysterious death of a fellow officer. He visits the scene of the incident, the former Yasuda Gardens, with his subordinate Jun Erio. I put a marker in. Former Yasuda Gardens. Wait, this is where we, she killed our guy originally. Okay. Hey, boss. Forensics is all done. The crime scene is clean. The other officers have all gone home. It's just us now. The park should be open. Should be able to open back up tomorrow, like nothing ever happened.
I doubt it'll get many visitors after everything that's happened.
You'd be surprised. Lots of people love that kind of thing. Bet they'll be lining up to get in. Occult stuff is really popular right now. Did you not say that, boss?
Sounds stupid.
Well, it's not exactly rooted in science, but if ghosts really did exist, we could just ask them with the purpose.
Somehow I doubt it'd be that simple.
Oh, but you know, I bet those high school girls are really into the spirit board thing these days. We actually haven't murdered anyone. We surprisingly didn't murder anyone with the one person I thought would want to murder the most, if I'm completely honest. So, yeah. Supposedly you can call on spirits and talk to them by using a board with letters on it. Wouldn't that be something?
You can try that yourself if you're so interested.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's give it a go sometime, boss.
What now? Stop messing around. You really think we're going to solve this case by moving a coin across a scrap of paper?
Sounds like you know all about it. Gotta be open-minded. What if that's how police work is going to be from now on?
Don't make me laugh.
A spirit board. Due to the occult craze, divinations become popular among young boys and girls. All one needs is a coin and a piece of paper with letters and numbers written on it. Using these, all one has to do is ask a question of the so-called upon spirit, and it will move the coin in answer. It's believed to be a tool that was adopted from Western spiritualism and molded by Japanese occult enthusiasts. Though it is considered a form of divination, the ritualistic nature of its usage can cause self-hypnosis or autosuggestion, leading to hallucinations or symptoms similar to spirit possession. Many schools banned these spirit boards after there were several cases of students sneaking into schools at night, in addition to stories of people having seizures when using the boards.
Listen up, Ario. You can't go blaming the death of your buddy on something like the occult.
Oh, jeez. I don't care if it was ghosts or the occult or what. Whoever or whatever it was that did this, I'll get them. I promise you that.
Well, you've got the right attitude, but we don't even know if this is a murder yet. Biases weaken our judgment. Get too fixated on one thing, stop seeing everything else.
Aye, aye, boss. So, now that we've finished investigating the scene, let's review what we know.
No, it's getting late. I figured we'd head straight home from here.
Come on, got to go over all the info we've gathered. And what better place to do that than here at the scene of the crime, where we can soak up the atmosphere?
Soak up the atmosphere? The hell is there to soak up? You must be really into this occult stuff if you get off on being in a place like this.
But wait, you mean being somewhere like this doesn't get your blood pumping? No way.
No, don't turn this around on me. I'm not the weird one here. Cripes. Ugh, fine. Let's get this over with.
Aye, aye, boss.
John Ario, a detective in the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, 1st Investigative Division. His rank is Sergeant. This is his first time leading a case. Like he's graduating from rookie to newbie. Looks put together on the outside, but acts like a kid most of the time. Honestly, the force could use more people like him.
Gotta still keep an eye out for the stickers. This pond, they say it used to flow into the Sumida River, but the river became so populated, polluted, that they cut it off. The former Yasuda Gardens here in Yokomae Ichome were originally built as part of a daimyo's estate back in the Edo period. The park became city property a number of years ago and underwent extensive renovations. Not saw around this time of night, quiet doesn't even begin to describe it.
So, like, this is where that's the scene. Okay.
So this is where the victim was found. It's clean now. This feels like nothing happened here at all. But once an incident like this has come to pass, there's no going back. Not that knowing that is any consolation.
Got the case.
So, early in the morning yesterday, a staff member found the victim collapsed here in the park and called the police when they realised he was dead. While there's no obvious external wounds, the fact that he was a police officer and the evidence of a struggle means it's likely that this was a murder.
I don't know, looking at that sort of look, that looks like a curse to me.
The Sumida officer sent it over to us since it involved the death of an officer, and we were tasked with the investigation. What we need to do is figure out what happened and whether there was foul play involved. I think that about sums it up. But, boss?
Yeah?
Is this case really important enough to assign to someone from the investigation division? I mean, a friend of mine died, so it's important to me, but...
It's all up to the higher-ups. I'm sure they've got their reasons.
Boss, you know something, don't you?
It'll all become clear in time. Try not to worry about it too much.
Thinking about it, the thing we know for sure is the identity of the victim. That means that there must have been something special about him, right? Maybe he knew something he wasn't supposed to. Some kind of secret or something. Isn't that right?
You're pretty sharp sometimes, you know that? If you picked up on that, you should be able to put the rest together yourself.
Well, it is our duty to get to the bottom of a suspicious death, especially one involving an officer.
At least this time we have some form of violence that you crave for, so yay.
The victim is Hachima Yoshima of the Juvenile Division of the Sumida City Community Safety Bureau, 27 years old, single. He mostly dealt with cases involving juveniles and education. His rank was Senior Police Officer.
You knew him well, didn't you? What was he like?
Yeah, we were in the academy together. We still went out for drinks together every month or two. It could be a little rowdy, but it was like a big brother to us all. He was kind and cared about his friends. God, he loved his friends, he really did. Better or worse, he wasn't the uptight type of cop. The man always showed empathy, and I heard he was popular with the locals for it. He treated each and every troubled kid he met with compassion, and a great track record when it came to rehabilitation.
What a chiseled jaw. Sounds like we lost a good one.
Yes, we did. We truly did. I knew being a cop was dangerous. I knew something like this could happen, but...
It's never easy when it happens for real. I know the feeling.
He didn't seem to care much about climbing the ranks, but he was at the top of our class. Only problem was that he took on so much. He had the most unfinished paperwork too. I always felt we'd need an unusual guy like him to help us solve all our unusual cases.
Majima was a police officer with Sumida City Community Safety Bureau and was primarily responsible for juvenile and education cases. He had the rank of head patrol officer and entered the force at the same time as Jun Erio. Majima was found dead under mysterious circumstances at the former Yasuda Gardens early in the morning yesterday. Oh, dear Lord. I got the burpees. Once a rebellious gang member himself, Yoshima turned his life around and used his own experiences to connect with troubled youths as a police officer. While his appearance and demeanour suggest a man who was rough around the edges, he was a passionate, loyal and caring man at heart, looked up to as a big brother by his peers.
Yoshima achieved stellar results in his work with juvenile cases, but his consistently sloppy paperwork and less than formal attire essentially doomed his career and had him writing formal apologies on the regular. He left behind a fiancée whom he had been dating since high school. Wait, you just said he was single. You said he was single.
Don't worry, you're plenty unusual yourself.
Me? I was the most unusual of my classmates. Besides, the real weirdo among us quit the academy a long time ago.
There was one even weirder than you.
I think we know who that is. Hajime is quite the bad boy in school, apparently. He ended up with the police a lot. He said the officer in charge was good to him, helped him get back on track. The reason he wanted to become a cop was to pay his kindness forward. Said it was the first time he ever took his students seriously. His studies seriously.
That's a good story. But that kind of thing makes me want to have a drink in his honor.
Please don't make fun of my dead friend.
Hey, I said in his honor you should aspire to become the kind of cop people miss when they die in the field. Okay?
You say that like it's a sure thing I'll die? Besides, I end up biting it. I'm sure you'll be the one who misses me most, boss.
Eh.
Come on, don't be like that. You'll hurt morale.
Well, I guess how much I'll miss you depends on how this investigation goes.
I can already see it. Elio, no! Why'd you have to go and get yourself killed?
I have no idea what's going on in the head of yours.
Yeah, that'll be a sight to see. I can't wait.
Can't wait for your death. Get it together, kid. Sheesh, you really are something.
Thank you.
What about the victor's family?
The Yoshima family's from Kitazenju in Adachi City. Bajima's parents died a long time ago. Lived there all alone, no siblings or anything. I went to his house a few times for drinks. I was surprised. It's this huge old-looking place. Like, you know, the kind of place that seems super haunted.
And he lived there alone?
Oh no. Greetings, Mr. Zunzi. What is this tale? You look like the home of an old noble family. It's hard to imagine him being such a delinquent living in a house like that.
There's a bias I was talking about. If he's from an old family, I'm sure things were complicated.
That's a bias too? Never talked about any of that, even when we were drunk, so I don't know much about it. Oh, one more thing.
Yeah?
Hashima was engaged. He'd been seeing his fiancée ever since they were in school. Over 10 years. They just started talking about getting married. What was her name again? He showed me a picture once. She was a beautiful woman.
That's so. How terrible for her. But she may know if there'd been anything going on with him lately. We should speak to her.
Yeah, his fiancée may have been his only confidant. I'm sure someone at the Sumida police station had already contacted her. I'll look into it tomorrow. Okay, since you have a pause. So imagine, if you will, a party found a prog party that's supposed to prog part too. I'm thinking right now this leader is a fantastic Zensu, and he's just there leading the charge like, damn, he's feeling good, he's feeling confident. It's like, this is the day, this is what it's all for.
Got a bad feeling about this case and my gut is ready wrong. I knew this would be a treacherous case from the moment we were dragged into it.
But please, don't let me spoil a good story. Oh wow. Ah, hey boss. I looked into the case that Hajime was running.
Oh great, that's the kind of stuff I want to know. What was Hajime working on the day he died?
Well, according to his reports from the day before, he had 2 cases involving juveniles.
Uh-huh.
The first was the suicide of a high school girl who jumped off a building in Kamazawa last week.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
The girl's name was Michiyo Shiriashi. She was a second-year student at Kamagata High School. But it seems as though Hajime had had contact with her even before this incident.
So she's been troubled for some time.
That's the thing. About a month ago, he happened to see her walking around town. She looked upset, so he struck up a conversation with her. He was sure there was something bothering her, but she wouldn't tell him what.
Must have been trouble at home.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm imagining it. My imagination is running wild. That's what he thought too. It seems he visited her home and spoke to her parents, but they said there was no problem, so there was nothing else he could do. And now she's dead.
Then it's possibly could have prevented her suicide then.
Yeah, but she was also the prime suspect in the kidnapping of our other lady, of her son, which is like, it's connected. It's all connected, baby. He must have been devastated. And that's why he was looking into this Michiyo Shiriashi again. Must have thought that something terrible had happened that drove her to end her life. But ultimately, he never reported the findings of his investigation.
I see, and you're thinking that it may have had something to do with his death. But to find out what it is that Hajime discovered.
Right, let's check with the Sumida Police Department about that tomorrow too. I'm loving the story so far. And this games as well. Now here's the real kicker. We had one guy in the team who was exceedingly garbage, and this fella had apparently cleared P8S multiple times. There's always somebody. And you know what? He probably has. But he probably was never the one who was alive. He probably got carried very heavily.
And what was the other case he was working?
This one is also related to Kamagate High student. A troublemaker named Hitomi Okuda seems the leader of a group of kids who get up to no good.
Oh, even better. Juvenile delinquency. Fun.
She was pretty bad for a while. Multiple charges of destruction of property, assault and battery, you name it. Hajime had been working with her for about 6 months, and she was finally starting to open up. Then he met with the girl the day she died.
Well, every school's got its problems. But I'm sure he'd be worried about how she'd get on without him.
You have a legend title and you'd never told, but Zensu. Put that title on and put the mental crown on as well. Therefore, if you make mistakes, people forgive you.
I'm sure he'd be worried about how she'd get on without him.
Right, just when she'd finally found an adult she could trust. Try and act out without someone to help her get through this.
We'll have to make sure the Community Safety Bureau does their job. But we can't rule out the possibility that meeting with the delinquent girl had something to do with his death. Then we'll just have to interview her too.
Yes, you're right. She may have been the last person to see him alive after all. I need to remove my crown actually as well. I keep forgetting it's still on. I'll ask Sumida to introduce us tomorrow. Though who knows if that she'll let us talk with her.
That's what we hired you for. Lay a little boyish charm on them if they need convincing.
Yeah, I'm sure they prefer me over a scale-looking old man like you, boss.
Watch it, I'm still your superior. You ought to act like you respect me at least.
Oh, I thought I was.
You were shit. Is that just how your generation speaks? You really are a new breed.
It's probably just me, actually.
Well, don't think you can get away with that with other people.
So anyways, boss.
Were you even listening?
Got quite a bit to look into tomorrow. First, the 2 Kamagate High School cases that Hajime was handling. I need to speak with his fiancée as well. I believe that's it for tomorrow. Case notes regarding the death of Hajime Yoshimo, officers with the Sumida Police. Summary 1. Body found at former Yasuda Gardens. Estimated time of death 2 days prior at approximately 11 AM. Cause of death, acute heart failure, causes unknown. Signs of struggle found at the scene, efforts to locate witnesses underway. Body discovered by groundskeeper. Currently investigating the fiancé of the deceased and 2 female students from Kamagate High School that the deceased had contact with as persons of interest. Basically, this game is a Japanese horror game where it actually has some kind of like fourth wall breaking mechanics as well. We as the player are treated as a separate entity. And there are 7, maybe more curses that exist. And all the curses will kill people, but if you collect enough soul dregs with your curse, you're able to use that curse to perform the rite of resurrection. So they got all these people who are going around like using it to like for their own gains and stuff like that too. And it's just really well done in my opinion. Like I think it's fantastic. It's just such a good game. It's just got shadow launched by Square Enix, and they decided not to advertise it one bit whatsoever. As for the cause of death, we don't know until the autopsy is done. And what we've seen, though, it appeared to be some kind of acute heart failure. But since he had no record of chronic illness and no visible wounds, it's possible that poison or drugs could have been involved.
Dying in the middle of a park like that certainly seems suspicious.
Like the lady we were playing as before we got to these two policemen, she can basically set people on fire if they have either something that's on fire already, like say a torch or whatever, or a match, or something that can also cause a flame. We found signs of a struggle at the scene, as well as footprints belonging to an unidentified individual. We've got people trying to identify those prints. Ah, I wonder what game that's going to be.
If you can find who they belong to, we might be able to figure this whole thing out.
Ah, that game. I know that game. Yes, wouldn't that be nice if that were the end of it? Anything Hajime had on him were his badge and his wallet in his pockets.
So we can rule out a mugging. Because there's probably not many people who'd think to try mugging a cop as big as him.
Was it that Hajime got a fair few fights in his younger days? Started judo once he became an officer and rose up the ranks quickly.
Sounds like the perp would have had to have been pretty strong to take on Hajime.
Time of death was around 11 PM 2 days ago. Outside the park's operating hours, of course. His body was found early in the morning yesterday.
11 PM, the day before yesterday. What was Hajime doing out here at that time in the first place?
That's the question, isn't it? The entrance to the park is closed after hours. There's a small gate that'd be fairly easy for him to get through if he really wanted to. That would of course be breaking and entering, but what do you think, boss?
Someone called him here. It's hard to imagine a couple of Hajime would trespass for no reason. And since it seemed like someone else was here with him, would they have killed him here?
Oh, that does seem likely.
They must have been talking about something pretty sensitive to come here in the middle of the night. So, Hajime met someone here to discuss something in secret.
And then they got into a fight.
No, that would have matched the cause of death. There were no wounds on the body that would indicate a spontaneous scuffle. The perp must have planned something.
You think it was meditated? That would mean they called Hajime to the park with the intent to kill him?
Well, there is still the possibility that it was just some kind of accident. Maybe the perp tried to threaten Hajime and things went south from there. We should be able to get a clearer picture once we know exactly what killed him.
Right. But either way, I'm so glad you're back in the First Division, boss. What was it, Marge, at work? You were like a god to me. You're the whole reason I became a detective in the first place.
Yeah, about that. People have been saying that ever since you first entered the academy, but...
Yes, that's because it's true. I couldn't believe you got transferred out of the first just as I was assigned to it. Getting to work a case like this now, just the two of us, is a dream come true.
Happy as I am to hear that, well, how should I put it?
What is it?
If that's true, I'm not sure you've been showing me the appropriate amount of respect.
But I do respect you. Don't tell me you're going senile, boss.
That's exactly what I'm talking about when you run your mouth like that.
It's getting late. You must be sleepy. Don't worry, boss. I'll make sure we get out of here soon.
Yeah, I get it.
I've been wowed by your shoe detecting abilities all day long today.
Oh, really? Funny, I've been wowed by you too.
Need to think. Yeah, okay. I've still got a bad feeling. Still a bad feeling. On the topic of family, what's yours like, boss?
The heck is wrong with you? Prying into my personal life all of a sudden.
It's just I've never heard you talk about them or anything. Oh, are you single?
Shut it, that's none of your business.
Well, ever since I joined the force, I've been thinking, the department really pressures young officers to get married. I wonder why that is. You don't say anything like that, though.
How should I know? I came to the pressure myself and got married 20-some years ago.
Huh. So then?
God, you're relentless. Took a daughter and left 4 years ago. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe she'd give up a guy like you.
Yeah, I was never home. I was never home much, too focused on work. I come home later and you get called right back out again. Plus, being a cop is dangerous work.
I mean, he's wearing sunglasses at like 1 in the morning. Whatever.
I don't blame her for getting fed up with it all.
How sad, especially when you're out here putting your life on the line. Is that why you transferred out of the first?
It's already too late by then. You better be careful, Ario.
You say that, but there's so much I can do. There's not much I can do, is there? That's the nature of our job. Not many who can really understand it. Not unless they're involved with police work themselves or related to someone who is. But wait, you have a daughter, boss?
You really think I want to talk about her after all that? Have some sense.
Come on, I promise I don't mean this the way it sounds, but how old is she?
Geez, you don't know when to quit, do you? At least try not to look so intrigued. She's a bit rough around the edges. I think most men are intimidated by her. As to her, she's living by herself and going to college.
Well, a college student? Men love an educated lady.
Stop that. What kind of cop are you making baseless assumptions like that?
She's living on her own, though. Huh. You must be worried about her.
Worry? I don't even know where she lives.
Oh, she hasn't told you? Not because she knows you'd follow her around everywhere.
I would not. I don't think so, anyway.
Come on now, we both know that's not true.
Listen here.
You may look like a mean old man, but are you sure? But you sure have a soft side.
What? Is that supposed to be a compliment? I can't keep up with you. God damn these young'uns. We're done talking about this.
I have a sneaky suspicion of who his daughter might be. And is she the one who is with that guy who has the legs as his ghost? Oh, that reminds me. You got married 20 years ago. It must have been right around the Dutchman murder.
You know your history. Yeah, that happened a year or two after our wedding.
You were the one who arrested the killer, weren't you? We studied that case at the academy.
It is connected.
I was only in elementary school at the time, but I still remember people talking about some dangerous criminal getting arrested.
And that was just... cracking the case, finding the guy, it was all just happenstance. I'd really rather not think about it. It was a disturbing case. Did it not make your skin crawl when you learned about it at the academy?
It did. We were all terrified.
Sounds about right. Who could believe that such a mild-mannered man could have committed such a terrible murder? If he'd overlooked one little thing, we may never have caught him at all.
I think I remember hearing there's only one charge brought against him in the end.
That's right. We didn't have the evidence. I knew there was no way such a meticulously planned crime could have been there first. But basically, this man chopped up a girl while she was still conscious. Like, he started with her fingers slowly, then moved to her hands, then her elbows. Well, then her wrists, sorry. Then her elbows. Then the stubs of her arms. Then he did the toes. Then the ankles. It's just like, oh my god. He may have stuck Fumicika and Nejima in a cell. But it was no victory. He always had the upper hand. Nor that damages to everyone involved, especially the victim's classmates. It's already been 20 years. 20 years, huh? God damn it. This is why I try not to think about it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. At least he was thorough.
So, all this occult stuff, have you heard about it, boss?
What are you talking about?
This Rite of Resurrection thing that everyone's talking about?
No, not you too. I've been hearing about that shit everywhere.
Oh, you have? That's surprising.
Who cares about what people are talking about? It's got nothing to do with my job.
But don't you think the occult stuff with this case, I don't know, realer somehow? Feels, I don't know, realer somehow. The whole thing started right here in Honjo in Sumida City, so I thought that maybe...
Cut it out. Nothing good can come of getting involved with that Rite or whatever, that record of fates.
Sounds like you know all about it. Boss, are you secretly into the occult?
Stop that, seriously, this isn't a joke. I get why you'd be intrigued by something called the Rite of Resurrection after a buddy of yours died, but... bringing the dead back to life, that's the stuff of fantasies, it's not real.
We're getting some new DLC for Ghostwire Tokyo as well. I probably will stream that. It's free.
Don't go hoping for miracles, got it.
Yes, we actually are. Go check the Steam page. There should be some news about it. Oh, boss, I think that about does it.
Right, let's call it for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, God, what is that?
Boss, what's wrong? Don't tell me you're going senile.
Damn it, it was that case all along.
Do not be fooled. No, well, my lord, believe me. What? Boss, what is it? Is there something over there?
Yeah.
Such deep sorrow.
Such deep sorrow, resentful memories flowing into my mind.
Kill them. Kill them! Those who spread lies. Kill them all. To acquire the power of the curse stone, the evergreen beach. You can use it to kill those who intentionally try to mislead you. Press the use curse button when someone lies to you. We now have the power to murder if we want to. But yeah, I like the fact that I think they're adding some missions into Ghostwire Tokyo that's also like meant to be based in a Japanese high school, and I'm like, that could have some pretty decent horror. I mean, that's usually where the horror is good. They're also adding a dodge button. Thank God. Kills by hanging one who tried to mislead the curse bearer with false statements. A resentful memory. He deceived us with his so-called rite of resurrection. The man who tricked the people with false dark arts swings from a rope. They'd thought the man had escaped the previous night, but oddly enough he was found hanging in the garden of Daimyo's mansion that morning. The man, a local named Jinkichi, was known for his kind temperament and skill in crafting Netsuko class. While his life wasn't always easy, he was optimistic. The type to smile through whatever life threw at him. He was the kind of man who would take care of those who didn't have anyone else to rely on. The prosperity that the uki boom brought must have been what fanned the flames of his greed. The old craftsman was found in a miserable state, as if sentenced to some cruel fate. Perhaps he'd ended his own life, unable to bear the weight of his crime. But dead men tell no tales, and they thought of him as a bad man even in death. He hung there for days, his neck stretched horrifically, a visage of pain still etched on his face. It was clear he must have struggled greatly as he died, his flesh marked with dark scars where the rope wrapped around his whole body. The beech tree's leaves do not fall, and neither did the man's body hanging from it. As the mansion's owner was not at home, an unfortunate event. The people held their tongues, fearing divine punishment, but the rumors persisted nonetheless. Ho 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 ho.
Urgh. A murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick black tar.
Can you hear it, Curse Bearer? You who so strongly desires the right. Kill them. Kill them all. Because basically the character we played at in the start, like, it was a very nice, like, sort of tutorial thing. It's like, hey, even if I didn't press the actual button to activate the curse to kill them, because there's never someone like walked around and like moved away, he would be able to kill them. He would do it even if I didn't. And it was like, there was a question from the storyteller, like, how many did he kill? And I was like, he killed one, because everyone else I killed, I made that happen. Yes, they're adding like a roguelite mode in, which is like, I mean, it could be good. Boss? Boss? Boss, what's the matter? Don't tell me you really went senile.
Sorry. I'm fine.
Stop making kissy faces at me.
Ariel,
Yes.
I have some bad news.
Oh no, your senility is kicking in, isn't it?
No, we've got a bit of trouble on our hands. Looks like we'll be working some overtime. We're not going home tonight.
What are you talking about? Wait, they are? But I completed the game. Does that mean I have to play it again? But I don't want to.